I'm Laniki, and you're watching What Happened on the Soaps. This is General Hospital. All right, let's jump right into it. Today is Friday. Yay! February the 3rd, 2023. On a scale of 1 to 10, honestly, some parts I was disinterested in, but for overall, I'm going to give it like a 7.5 because some of them I was here for. Okay, so we go to Brooklyn and Chase, and he tells her that listen, when this is all over with, I'm done. Like I want to be a police officer. So we need to speed this along so that when the review says I can be a police officer, that we'll have this wrapped up because if it's not wrapped up, you're fresh out of luck, sister. Because I'm going back, and she says, "Oh, you don't want to be with me anymore." I said, no, ma'am, we're not going to do this anymore. we are done doing this. This man, you've lied to this man too much. Like, I'm sick of her going back and forth with, you don't want to be with me. Well, you should have, like, when y'all were first trying to get together, y'all should have went ahead and gotten together, and it not be because he was doing a favor for you as far as helping Link. And then you wouldn't have had this part in your relationship, and y'all could have had a relationship. And then if y'all wanted to go into business and him help you, that would have been different. But now you want to talk, is I guess what I'm saying. Now you can be so open and say that you still want him and all of these things. But at first, when we wanted y'all to be together, you could never do it. And so now that y'all are apart, like, honestly, go apart. But as we can see as the episode goes on, that is not what's going to happen. But he tells her, hurry up and wrap this up. And so she storms off in a huff because she's upset about it. And so then we see Blaze, and I said, "Oh my, this is a really pretty picture of Blaze." But then we see Blaze, and I said, "Oh my, okay, here we go." And so he tells her he's gonna leave, and she's like, "No, you can't," because she is terrified of Link. Like, Link has sexually harassed her so much, and her only bright spot is Chase. And so she's like, "With you gone, I don't know if I could do it." She stopped loving music, and at first she was like, I can just push through, because she said she signed a contract with him, and y'all know, in the music industry, the contracts are predatory. So she signed this contract with him, and now she can't get out of it, and Link is taking full advantage of it. And so she's just like, I don't want to be around him. So then here comes Link out, touching all up on her. I thought we were gonna change that outfit, rubbing all up on her, like it blatant in front of Chase. And Chase is like, "Yeah, you don't need to be here. We already performed. What you still doing here?" And Link is like, "Whoa, big boy." But he said, "I was actually looking for Brooklyn." He said, "I'll tell her you was looking for her." He said, "No, I can go tell her myself." And so he leaves, and Blaze is just like, "Oh my God, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it." And so they go in and they look, and Link is talking to Brooklyn with his hands all on her knees and stuff. And so he's talking, Link is talking, and so Chase is just like, because now this is a reason why he could stay in this longer. And I said, "Oh my gosh, are you sitting me?" If y'all gonna do this, y'all need to make this a priority and show it at least every 2 weeks, because we haven't seen these people. I don't know when the last time we see Link, but we haven't seen Blaze and Chase perform since, what was it, New Year's, Christmas? That's a month. Like, how can we be interested in this storyline when you take so long to do it? And I want to be interested in all of the storylines, but when it takes so long, sometimes it's hard to keep that, that they haven't showed it in a long time, because Link had to remind us of his deal with Brooklyn, because I forgot what the deal was. And he said, "Remember, you said you was gonna come out and say that it was great working with me." So, because he don't want to have to these girls coming out saying he's a predator, which he is. And he said, "You were gonna say it was great working with me, and you could get all the songs that I haven't sold back." And I said, "Baby, I forgot Brooklyn and made that deal with this. I forgot what the plot was and the plan was." And so she told Link, "I haven't forgotten." And like, he touching on her knee and stuff. I'm like, oh God. Oh gosh. But anyways, y'all, that's that with them. Let's move on. So then we see Jocelyn. Now, you didn't manage to make it to Britt's funeral, but you went over to Dex, and she told Dex that she's had such a hard time because her niece was born, and she's healthy and she's happy about that. But then Willow It had to have emergency surgery after a C-section, and now she's in the ICU. I'm sorry, I thought I heard Mila. Oh yeah, she was just talking. Now she's in the ICU, and she's stable, but she's not awake, and so she's just so stressed out, right? And she said, and then on top of that, it was Britt's memorial, and because of my niece, I didn't get to go. I said, but you managed to go over to Dick's house, so what you talking about? I'm sorry, that Britt saved your life. You and Dex should have made it to her memorial, even if Dex couldn't make it. He should have sent a flower. Y'all should have did something, because this girl died and she let y'all crookedness leave because he had the gun that he didn't know if it was legit or not. But anyways, child, she just says she feels guilty about things. She feels guilty because she was wrong the way she did Cameron. Those were her words, not mine. For all the people who love to come in my comments and say, no, she wasn't wrong. She the one saying she feeling guilty because she knows she should have broke up with him and she shouldn't have had eyes on Dex while she was still with Cameron. But anyways, so she goes on and on about how bad she feels, and she has survivor's remorse, and he just tells her everything's gonna be okay, and dang, just listening to you, I ruined your life. And she said, no, because at the end of the day, did you influence me? Yes, but these are my choices. I made all of these choices. And so then she tells him, they talking about they scared of each other, and honestly, y'all. So then we see Ava and Austin. So Ava and Austin are he meets her at Kelly's and she said, let me buy you dinner. I hear congratulations are in order. You saved you brought the Willow's baby into the world, and then you saved Willow. And he said, oh, she's a fighter and they're fighters, and it was all them, right? So then we go to he said it was all them, right? So then they start talking about, she said, well, let's celebrate me. I got my divorce and I got Windermere. And he said, whoa, okay. He said, but you do look like a lady of a manor. And she said, and she does. Baby, I love that coat Ava had on with the fur. Like I wouldn't call it a what do you call those? I mean, I know it was a winter coat, but it's like, it's cute. They be dressing Ava. If I had to be like, give me anybody wardrobe, I'd be like Ava's. I want Ava's because she be dressing from the accessories to the clothes, and the shoes. She always looks really nice. And so they sit down and talk and everything. And he said, but I remember coming into town and you divorced Nicholas before. And she said, that was different. I was trying to protect my daughter. This time, it's different. It's over. And she said, and plus I've done something that he'll never be able to forgive me for. He's like, okay, we'll see about that. And he tells her about Mason, about how she handled herself with Mason, because she says at one point she used to be Ava Jerome, and Ava Jerome would have, she would have done some things. She said, but she turned into Ava Cassadine, and she made excuses for things. And I said, yeah, because I don't want that Ava Jerome back. But anyways, Austin is just like, okay, I get that, but he still feels like she and Nicholas could maybe possibly work it out, but she telling him, ain't nothing happening on that end. But anyway, so she gets up and she tells him, I have to go. And so when she leaves out, we see Mason, right? And I said, oh, what you doing? Because you don't want it with Ava Jerome, sir. What you trying to do? And so he on the phone with his people, and Austin sees it. So we're gonna deal with that on Monday. You know what? Austin is too good of an actor for them not to have put him in a great role, and they're finally using him again in a great role. I hate to say it, but he had to get away. He had to get away from Maxie because he couldn't be. It just wasn't right. It wasn't the right fit. But his fit is good with Ava and this darker role that they are trying to put him on because that's how I've always known him as he plays the darker roles, and I love it. So then Elizabeth lets it all go. She said, Elizabeth gives it up to Finn. She tells him everything. She was like, I was never pregnant with Nicholas, baby. You saw those prenatal vitamins at Windermere, and then I had them, and you were wondering what was going on. And he was like, tell me. And I said, Finn, you can't figure it out. She was lying. She said, I was lying. I was never pregnant. And then Esme, then you were asking questions about Esme, and so he still wasn't understanding. So she just broke it out. Finn, Nicholas had Esme prisoner. And he said, what? And she said, I had to go along with it because he said she was the hood killer. And he was like, we're protecting the people of Port Charles. And then Esme is carrying my baby. So we have to, do everything to protect it. Because at that time, nobody knew that Nicholas, that Esme was pregnant and she had the baby, right? And it was Nicholas. So she said, I was at a bad place. You had walked out on me from the office and you had every right to feel where you were feeling. I just confessed to killing your wife. And she said, so all of this had went on. And so when she went to Nicholas to help, she ended up having to help him. He roped her in because she wasn't really thinking clearly. And so he was like, oh my gosh, it makes sense. He's still ticked off at Nicholas. And when you listen to Elizabeth tell the story, Nicholas kind of a jerk. I was like, yeah, when you think back on it, he knew Elizabeth was in a bad place, and he used that to his advantage, And anyway, so Finn is ticked off about that with Nicholas, and he was like, and she says, but she said, but then that wasn't the worst part. He was like, he's done worse. Oh my God, because this is disgusting. She said, he brought my mother in town and he wanted her to do to Esme what she did to me. And he said, are you kidding me? And she was like, no. And she said, that's when I realized this man ain't my friend. No, he is not. So then we see that she leaves, right? I mean, that she tells him, I have to, I'm sorry, I was thinking about Ava. She tells him, I have to do what's right. And he was like, what you trying to do? And she said, I'm going to turn myself in. I said, Finn, talk to your girl. Talk to Elizabeth, because talk to her. Because what you're not going to do is turn yourself in. Hold on, y'all. I need some water. Okay. And so he gonna try to convince her not to, is what we're gonna see Monday. This episode, when I first looked at it, I said, oh Lord. But as you could see, the deeper you get into the episode, it kept getting better and better. But that first half of that episode, Nicholas held that episode. I said, this young man is about to win him another Emmy, daytime Emmy for the youth. And when he get older, if he stays on General Hospital, because when you act this well, because to me, he acts very well. They normally don't. They have other opportunities. But if he stays, baby, he is locking it in. Okay, so we go over here because Elizabeth's ready to spill her guts to police. So then we go over here, right? Okay, y'all. And it's Nicholas, Laura, and Spencer, right? And so they're talking, and Nicholas is just like, what did you just say? Because Spencer said, you're no father to me, and you never been there and everything, and I'm gonna make sure your child has a better childhood than I did. And Spencer Nicholas was just like, I know you're angry at me, but I'm going to do everything. I'm going to love this baby and take care of this baby. I'm going to be better. And he said, oh, no, you ain't going to get that chance. Now, I'm paraphrasing now. Y'all know how we do. He said, you're not going to get that chance because what? I am taking full custody of your child. And Laura said, Laura had it's ping pong because she be looking back and forth. I said, get out, take it all in, Laura. And so Nicholas said, excuse me, what did you say? And Laura said, Spencer, no, don't say some stuff. Y'all don't do this. Don't do something you're gonna regret. Spencer said, oh no, I'm not gonna regret this. I am taking full custody. And Nicholas walked up to Spencer. He said, I know you're angry and you're upset, but that's not gonna happen. And Spencer said, yes, it is. And he said, I will use everything in my arsenal to fight you for this. I said, yeah, we knew you was going to say that. Spencer knew you was going to say that. That's why he went to the one person that knows all your dirty tricks too. And so Spencer says, I figured that, but it is what it is, because you're going to hand terminate your parental rights and hand your baby over to me. I said, ooh, child, what's happening here? Because you know what's going on, but y'all know I'm dramatic and I love the drama, so stay with me on this. So I said, oh, child, what's going on? And he said, you gonna hand that baby over to me? And I said, Spencer. And Laura said, Spencer, you can't raise a child. And Nicholas tries to tell him too, you're young, you don't know how to be a father. He said, and you do? I said, well, Nicholas, I mean, ooh. And so then Laura was like, stop it. Stop it before you say something y'all are going to regret. And Spencer said, I don't regret nothing. I'm not going to regret anything. Baby, they was going back and forth talking about, no, you're not going to take my child. Yes, I am. You're going to just hand me that baby. And then, so then Spencer started dropping words, right? Because they said this is about revenge. He said it's not about revenge. It's about me wanting to not see another child damaged by you. And so then Spencer started dropping words that came right out of the video. He was talking. He said revenge, guilt, and he said Nicholas was like, and they said, I thought it wasn't about revenge. And then Spencer kept talking about how, he'll always regret this one thing, but he was left with no other option. And so Spencer was saying it, and they was going to the video showing us what Nicholas was saying on the video. Then I said, this boy done memorized the video. Okay now. And so then they kept going and going, and Nicholas realized, oh my God. And he said, I can't believe this. You went to my enemy? You went to Ava? You teamed up with Ava against me? And Laura is back and forth. I told y'all she ping-ponging between the two. That head is just moving. She said, what is happening? What are y'all talking about? What is going on? Hush, Laura, we got to listen. So then Nicholas was like, you went to my enemy against me? You teamed up with Ava? And he said, sure did. Spencer said, I sure did. And he said, so you gonna give me that baby, or I could go and give this to Commissioner Ashford. And because I was actually speaking to her earlier, as a matter of fact, we were standing about in this spot right here. And Nicholas said, you wouldn't do that. He said, and Laura was like, I don't know what's going on, but he wouldn't do whatever it is. Y'all need to stop, and just Nicholas, you stop this, and Spencer, whatever this is, you got to let it go. And Spencer's like, no, so that's the reason why you're gonna hand your baby over to me. That's it. And so Spencer, at this point, he is upset, and Ava said, excuse me, not Ava. Laura's like, we can just all take this back. Don't say something you're gonna regret. And Nicholas like, oh no, it's too late for that. He went up against me with my enemy. And so now Laura knows that whatever has happened, it's criminal, because Spencer is blackmailing Nicholas pretty much. And so Nicholas leaves out of the room, and Laura didn't know what to do. She was like, do I stay with Spencer? Do I go after Nicholas? So she runs after Nicholas, right? So she running after Nicholas, and she said, Nicholas, don't do this. Your son needs you right now. Don't leave him like that. He's like, Spencer is gone. Then I said, child, because, before Nicholas left, he told Spencer, you were just like a Cassadine. I said, well, he learned from the best. I mean, because if you think about it, every man in his family that could have mentored him is in some kind of mobster, mafia, vindictive, like, you know what I mean? He got Sonny, he had Cyrus, he had Victor. Like, all the men in his life are those type of guys where they'll do what they got to do to get what they want. So what did you expect? But anyways, he tells Laura it's too late. He's already against me. And she said, don't leave, because if you leave right now, you'll never get back your son. But Nicholas gives her a hug, and he just tells her, it was the way he said it. It was almost like he was saying goodbye to her. And I said, what you about to do, Nicholas? Because he told her, I love you. And he told her goodbye. And so then Laura goes in there with Spencer, and she was like, what have you done? And she's trying to figure out what's going on. And Spencer's just like, his father, that's not his father to him, and he gonna make sure the baby never has to go through what he went through, and that's it on that. He's done with it. And I said, well, and so then we see Ava arrives at Windermere. The fire's going. She take off her coat. It's real cute in there because she lighting up the furniture and stuff. It's real cute in there. And then she gets a knock on the door, and it's Nicholas. I wouldn't want to stay in that big house by myself. If I was able, I'd be like, you could keep it. I don't want this big spooky house on my own. It's bad enough when you have an upstairs and a downstairs. But anyways, child, that was what happened on the Soaps General Hospital edition. It is the weekend, guys. If you go out, even if you don't go out, be safe, be blessed. I hope you have a restful, wonderful weekend. And I will see you next week for an all new episode of What Happened on the Soaps General Hospital edition. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Goodbye.